I thought he was dead.
Is as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all cash offer on any of your properties and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Thank you for riding with the Watchdog. Live and local, just the way you like it.
Live and local conversation for the Ohio Valley continues shortly, here on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey, buddy! Yeah? You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it!
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure, I mean, you being a mountain climber and all,
Yep.
you probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
This past year has been a challenge for us all. Red, yellow, black, and white. The pandemic has hurt us all. That's why I think it is interesting that it was a diverse group of scientists led by Dr. Graham and his close associate, Dr. Covert, an African-American woman who worked on this vaccine to help us all. I hope it says that together we can do anything. That's not just Black history, that's American history.
In a divided year, we can still be united through giving. There's a $300 above-the-line tax deduction this year thanks to the CARES Act. You can take a $300 deduction for charitable donations. As an organization that promotes giving, the United Way of the Upper Ohio Valley encourages you to utilize this tax deduction. Consider making a donation to a nonprofit agency with a cause that's important to you. Any donation made to the United Way will go towards our annual campaign supporting local programs focusing on the community's toughest needs.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Wednesday. Mostly cloudy with a few rain showers on and off through the day. High near 51 degrees. Overnight low of 29 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Chance of seeing a scattered shower through the overnight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy for your Thursday with highs in the low 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning, old friends.
Hey, what are you doing here? About to go on the air.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is?
Wake up, fairy princesses, wake up!
Guess what day it is?
Get up before I get you up!
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Woo-hoo!
This is Wednesday. She calls it over the hump day.
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We ain't one at a time in here. They broadcast me out on the radio. We're mass communicating.
Let Wednesday begin!
Hit it!
Conversations you care about with people you know. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
You know, Biff, sometimes I hear something on the radio, I'm thinking, that's not right. I heard a commercial during ABC News that with Pat Boone. I thought Pat Boone was dead.
I don't know. I mean, I can look.
Well, he did a commercial. Of course, maybe they're on the Limbaugh thing, stuffing him and just playing old commercials. I don't know, but see, hi friends, this is Pat Boone. I'm selling you, I don't know what he was selling you, something for old people probably, but because only old people remember Pat Boone, I think. But it's one of those things. It's like, wait a minute, I thought he was dead. You ever do that every once in a while? You see somebody on TV or you hear about somebody, you go, wait, no, they're dead. I thought they were dead.
He'll be.
No offense, I'm not trying to kill Pat Boone off. I just thought he was dead.
He'll be 87 this year.
Oh, he's not ready for death yet. Believe me, once upon a time, I thought 87 was near death. No, let that go. No. All right, well, just one of those things that I heard that commercial. Pat Boone, my God. Last I heard of Pat Boone, last I remember of Pat Boone, of course, he was a crooner, a real clean-cut, conservative, good Christian man, singer of really the 50s, I guess. Well, last I remember of him back in 70s, 80s, he came out with sort of a hard rock album, and he had, like spiked amulets on his arms and stuff, and man, he got in trouble with the crowd of people who liked him. That's the last I remember of him. It just goes to show you my mind takes me too far back. Anyways, I thought he was dead. Biff, you would have no problem, would you? Because I don't think I would have no problem in having some sort of a food contest here in the morning. Would you where we gave away food? Would you have any problem with that if we had one?
No.
Because I was watching again today on the Big 7. They have their regular weekly McDonald's giveaway. And then they get the food. And I guess I thought I've kind of given up just begging for food and saying like, well, we're their partner. Couldn't you bring us some food too? But over there at the Big 7, they were eating chicken sandwiches this morning.
Yeah, I think they get that.
Just because
that's a once a month thing. It's usually at the end of every month they get food.
I could take it once a month if we had to. But I'm beginning to think, just begging for food and saying, well, why don't you send us some food? It's not going to work. So maybe if we did a food contest with them, wouldn't they bring us food too? I mean, I'd be happy to give other people food if we got some. Chicken sandwich wouldn't be bad this morning. It's not my first choice for breakfast, but what the hey?
Hey, they look good.
They were clearly happy to get them over there at the Big 7. Couldn't you tell? We've got chicken sandwiches. Let's eat these things. And I know you can almost see it in their minds. They all were saying, yeah, we're almost done on the air. It means we can eat these without getting caught. So I'm going to have to ask Zach how those sandwiches were when he checks in with us later on this morning. 7:15, temperature is at 38 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. A little wind blowing around 9 miles an hour out there makes it feel like 31. So 38 at the airport, 38 here at my home studios in Elm Grove, 38 degrees. At the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Among the stories we'll be talking about today, what is the single worst session of the West Virginia legislature ever continues rushing through. Mountain State lawmakers continue removing local control away from, just about everybody, putting more power into the hands of the state and in the hands of other politicians. Issues that we'll talk about today involve public health, water safety, education, sexuality, and even plastic straws. They're regulating plastic straws at the state level. All these bills and many more are moving in Charleston, and we'll try and keep on top of all that with our Capitol Report. Governor Justice is doubling down in his belief that his emergency powers shouldn't be limited. Why, you don't want to mess with taking my powers away. I'm doing so good. And he picks on, in particular, Pat McGeehan from the Northern Panhandle, says, can you imagine Pat McGeehan trying to do this? What? We'll talk about that. Congressional hearings on the Capitol insurrection yesterday brought out some new information, important information, helped to scuttle some of those ridiculous ideas that it was Antifa that was behind it or fake Trump protesters. Even some members of Congress tried to play that old saw again. And everybody giving testimony said, that's just acidine. No, these are not fake Trumpers. These were not Antifa or Democrats or some kind of secret cabal of the left. This was primarily white nationalists, large numbers of Trump supporters, and militants that wanted to overthrow the election. So some fireworks on that as well. We'll get into that. A think tank report says that the economic impact of fracking here in our local area is not as big as many people have suggested. We will look at those numbers with Sean O'Leary from the Ohio River Valley Institute. And in Ithaca, New York, they're talking about eliminating the police department entirely. These are the stupidest ideas in the world. And among other things, this will simply give more power to those who want to say, you liberals, you Democrats, you don't like police, you want to give them to the police departments. This is an asinine idea, and we'll talk about it coming up later on. If y'all have something you want to talk about in addition to what I'm throwing out here, or reference what I am throwing out here, feel free to text me, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600, the Watchdog Radio Network text line, or you may use the CityNet hotline at 304-232-8255. 7:18 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Biffy, it was a bad day for Tiger Woods yesterday.
Yes, it was.
Big car crash. Say his car rolled over multiple times. The original reports have been he had to be taken out by the jaws of life, although they have since said that wasn't true. But they had to break the windshield and get him out. And bad news for Tiger. They say he was in control of himself when they got there, but serious injuries to his legs, which is not good for a golfer, Biff.
No, and Tiger on Sunday, the Genesis Invitational, he was there on Sunday because he was going to present the winner with the trophy, and he was talking with Jim Nance, for a little bit, and Jim was asking him, if he was going to play in the Masters because that's coming up in April, and Tiger had revealed that he just went through his 5th back surgery, and he wasn't too sure if he was going to make the Masters. And normally the tournament before, it's a smaller tournament before the Masters that they usually play, and I think Tiger was going to try and play in that and see if he was going to be okay to go for the Masters, and if he felt fine and surgery had healed like it was supposed to, then I think that was the plan. But after yesterday, and I got a feeling that hopefully everything goes well and Tiger gets healthy again. But I think whenever he gets through this, I think we're going to see the announcement that we thought was going to happen. Just a couple years ago, that he's done. He's had enough, and he's gonna do whatever he wants to do after golf. And after yesterday, I think that's the next time we'll see Tiger is either at a podium, or he'll put a message through his agent or whatever that it was a good run, but it's time to go.
It was a heck of a good run, but yeah, I tend to think you're right. With his previous problems, his back problems and so on, compounded now with this accident. And again, I'm not sure what the words they're using are, but his legs severely injured. I think, hey, I don't say miracles happen. Medicine can do a lot, but I'm with you, Biffy. I think we probably have seen the end of Tiger's golf career. Now he's got young man, plenty of things he can still do in life, golf commentator, or spokesperson for who knows what, or open up lots of options for him. But I just can't see him coming back and being out there on the putting green again.
No, I mean I can see him being in a different tournaments, just hanging out with everybody, and even I know
play some pro-ams, that kind of stuff, where his being there would make him.
Yeah, kind of like he was Sunday, just there. I mean, just to have him there, and his son golfs too, of course. So he can follow him around, and he's got a lot of guys on the tour that he's friends with. I mean, Jack Nicklaus put a statement out yesterday. Him and his wife put a statement out about Tiger. One of his best friends, Justin Thomas, yesterday. I mean, he was on the verge of tears yesterday, just talking about Tiger and his kids and everything. So, he's got some guys on tour that he still hangs around and is friends with. So, I could see him going here and there, just being a spectator.
Well, he is, or at least I think he is. Would you concur? He is probably the greatest golfer of all time.
I'd put him up there with Nicklaus. Yeah, I mean Jack Nicklaus. But the thing about Tiger was it didn't matter what tournament. If it was a Sunday, people were going to watch if Tiger was in it. I mean the final round of any major, if it was Sunday, look at the TV ratings on Monday, just for the simple fact that the Tiger was in it, and that's what he did for golf. He made people that didn't like golf turn it on to watch just to see him.
Yeah, yep. Not the first time, of course, he's been in a big high-profile car accident. It was about 10 years ago when he crashed his car right outside of his home, and apparently he had taken prescription medication, and his wife had come after him, and that was a real doozy of a story there. So that was not. So this was not his first car accident that made it into the headlines. But I haven't heard what happened in this accident. Have you, Biffy? I mean, did he just lose control? Did a car come another way? I really haven't heard the details of how the crash occurred. Have you?
Yeah, no, not yet. But I believe he was on his way to a photo shoot with a couple of NFL players, because again, he stayed in California because he had already been there again on Sunday. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was just going too fast, was in a hurry to get there or what, but that. And again, I think he said he wasn't drinking. There was no impairment or anything. I don't know.
Well, we certainly wish him well. And I don't want to predict. I don't want to be like the negative guy, but I think you're right, Biff. I think probably adding all of his problems together, this may just be the end of his competitive golf career. Not the end of Tiger's career, but the end of his competitive golf career. But whatever happens, certainly pray for and wish him well and a good recuperation. And I haven't heard, what kind of surgery is needed or anything of that nature, but hopefully, for Tiger, hopefully it all works out. 7:25 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 38 degrees. Glad you're along for our conversational ride this morning. What's the number one material possession that Americans love the most, Biffy? The number one material possession Americans love the most. Take a guess.
Cell phone.
You are correct, my little man. We will talk about those things that Americans love coming up next on the Watchdog Morning Show.
Listen to the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. Weekday morning, 7.
weekdays. A division of Wheeling Hospital, the Woodsdale Health Center is led by family physician Dr. Michael Wilson. Call 304-234-1971. They'll take good care of you.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
It's your turn to talk. From politics to pet peeves, get it off your chest and on the air. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
In the list are our cars, refrigerators. Those are all part of the material things that we're looking for. But in a recent survey of 1,000 Americans, the number one material possession that we think is most important is our mobile phone. Now, Biffy, you have a mobile phone. I know you use it a lot. Are you like me? If you leave your phone at home or you forget it, or if you don't have it on you, do you get anxious? Do you get jittery when you don't have your phone around?
No, I just hope I can remember where I left it.
My problem, well, I have so many problems, but with the phone, I get jittery, I get anxious, I get nervous, I worry, what if somebody's trying to get a hold of me? And by the way, nobody ever does. You understand? It's not like I'm in great demand or anything. It's just like I worry, oh my God, what if somebody's trying to call me? What if something's happening and I don't know about it? And among my great fears, though, in not having my phone with me anytime is I can't call a single person in the world. I can call two people in the world. I know my wife's phone number because her phone number is one digit different than mine. So I know my wife's number and I know my oldest son's phone number. Most of the time. When the old Alzheimer's isn't kicking in. After that, I couldn't call a single soul. I couldn't call any of my other kids. I don't know their phone numbers. I couldn't call any relative. I couldn't call any business. I don't know it's all in that phone. Hey Siri, call Biff. I couldn't get a hold of Biff if I wanted to. Cancel.
Which phone number for Beth and Dave?
Cancel. No, I said cancel. No, cancel.
Okay, I won't do it.
Thank you. Oh, that's the downside to having your phone around. But anyway. But I couldn't call anybody. I really couldn't unless I can, talk to the machine and tell it to who to call. So, I'm one of these ones who gets very, very, very nervous. And sort of a sidelight to this, with phones being the number one material possession that people care about, people are getting their phones repaired faster than they used to. According to this report that I've got in front of me, it used to be if you broke your phone, if you dropped your phone on the floor and the screen got cracked, just as an example, you would say, well, I'll just live with a cracked screen. Or you'd let it go for, a month or 2 months, then eventually say, I guess I better go take it and get it fixed. But according to this poll of 1,000 Americans looking at their phone as their favorite material possession, people are getting their broken phones repaired or replaced almost immediately. One company called Assurion, which does repairs and tracks this kind of stuff, says they've seen a 20% in customers who file their phone claims the same day something happens to their phone, which is a big shift. Before the pandemic, most customers waited at least a month with a broken phone before filing a claim for repair or replacement. And I guess probably during the pandemic, phones become mobile phones we're talking about here, become a bigger connection for people, Biff. You have your, it's a way to connect with people during the pandemic if you're stuck at home. It's a way to get some entertainment sometimes. My wife is watching something on the TV screen. I just put my little ear pods in sometimes and watch something separate on my streaming phone app. So I know. Number one thing that we care about, not our refrigerators, not our cars. I would have thought cars would be it,
Or
but no, not
computers.
Or computers. Yep, absolutely. But it's our phones. But again, the phones are for. And I know that there's some of you, and I'll get a text, and I'll get you, well, if we didn't live so much by our phones, we'd love each other better. Don't give me that crap. I mean, phones are here to stay. They're here to change and to grow, and something new will come along and replace them at some point. But, we're all connected by our mobile phones. We're all texting now. I mean, great-grandmothers are texting, for God's sake, Well, heck, Nancy and I are grandparents. And, I mean, we text all the time. Or using the phones. Last night, sitting at the home, all of a sudden my FaceTime rings, and it was Teddy FaceTiming me. And yes, little buddy, what's up? He goes, Granddaddy, I found the dinosaur in Mario. I found the dinosaur. He was playing a Mario game, and we hadn't been able to find the dinosaur when he and I were playing it. He was so excited. He showed me his screen. Look, Granddad, look, I found the dinosaur. And after he told me, he goes, that's all, Granddad, goodbye. And then he hung up. Teddy does not, he doesn't take a long time to say goodbye. There's not a lot of, well, I guess that's been good talking to you. I'll see you. No, it's like he says what he wants to say and then goes, goodbye, hits the red button. Anyways, my point is, from little kids at 5 years old, like Teddy, to 68-year-old grandparents like my wife and I, we text, we use the phones. Phones are now more important to Americans than their cars. Just stop to think about that. And of course, they're getting more expensive too. I used to buy every new phone that came out. Well, back in the old days, the real old days, when cell phones first came out, the cell phone company would provide us with phones. Right? I'll give you a phone if you'll sign up for our service. These days, the phones are so darn expensive. No, I don't upgrade myself as often as I should. Anyways, I thought you might find that interesting. Phones are now more important than cars to Americans. Well, we're going to talk with Zach Petty coming up in a minute or two. I know Zach posted something on Facebook yesterday about how the days are getting a little bit longer. We're seeing a little bit more light in the evening, and that's good. But I also have a little story here about how as we begin to change the daylight hours, the seasonal affective disorder is something we ought to be concerned about. And I'll talk about that with Zach, plus the full forecast coming up in a minute or two. And right now, we'll check some Ohio Valley headlines for you from our friends of the Big Seven. And Mr. DeFabio has your morning sports report, too. It's the Watchdog Morning Show. We're underway for a Wednesday.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time for your local news.
these two teams have played 5 times, the Penguins winning 4 games, including 2 wins in OT and 1 in the shootout. Hey, can the Penguins make it 5 out of 6? Guess what? They will meet again Thursday night on Washington Ice. Another road win for the 10th-ranked West Virginia Mountaineers. They beat TCU 74-66. That's 6 road wins in the Big 12 for the Mountaineers, who improved to 16-6.
Powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
In a hurry and need to see a doctor? The Woodsdale Health Center and Walk-In Clinic is located across from Little Caesars on National Road. Open 7 to 7 Monday through Friday. Patients can receive primary care, treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, wellness visits and physicals. There's also a lab draw station open from 8 to noon weekdays. A division of Wheeling Hospital, the Woodsdale Health Center is led by family physician Dr. Michael Wilson. Call 304-234-1971. They'll take good care of you.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts. WKKX and WVLY, voted coolest couple in their high school yearbook.
He rambles, he rants, and sometimes he sings. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Coming up today, statewide talk line at 10. Hoppy Kercheval will talk with Dave McKinley, our area congressman, about the COVID relief bill. Also talk with the school board president in West Virginia about their decision to mandate that all elementary and middle schools go back to a 5-day-a-week in-person schedule beginning March the 3rd. And State Senator Mike Romano will be in to talk about a bill, which we will talk about a bit later on here on the show, requiring that local health boards no longer be allowed to promulgate rules and regulations without approval of a political entity. We'll get into that. Also with Hoppy today, Biffy, the bromance continues.
Chris Steigerwald.
Yep, he may not be with Fox News anymore. Fox News gave Chris the boot, but Chris Steigerwald, Wheeling native, and actually a very nice guy, sticking around with Hoppy Kercheval, still analyzing things from Hoppy Kercheval's point of view. So Hoppy gets underway today at 10. Let's bring in Zach Petty from the Big 7, WTRF TV, on what is going to be, apparently, our warmest day of the work week. Is that right, Zach?
Yeah, well, for sure, the warmest day of the work week. Whenever I was editing the 7-day forecast, I was saying, it's going to be the warmest day of the year, and then I actually I second-guessed myself, and luckily I did because I went back into the record books and saw that temperatures on January 1st and 2nd were 53. So I wasn't sure, but my confidence is growing that we're actually going to be seeing the warmest day of the year, because temperatures continue model guidance are continuing to say we're going to see mid to upper 50s, unlike what I was expecting early on this morning of the mid to low 50s. I say we could even reach temperatures topping off right around 57 for our high today. Certainly the warmest day of the work week by far.
And it's going to be a fairly pleasant day. Might see some clouds and maybe some late day rain, as I understand your 7-day, but basically warm and not too bad, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Certainly well above average temperatures today. I'm looking at my 8-box traffic cams, and I see abundant sunshine throughout the Elm Grove area over in your neck of the woods, on I-70 over at Dallas Pike, over by the Fort Henry Bridge. A little less sun, but it looks like there's just a stray cloud in the sky. But, man, just a beautiful-looking morning. A lot of the snow will continue to melt with all the sun rays shining down, and hopefully we see a robin or two here in the near future because, again, winter weather doesn't look to be in the vocabulary, Howard, and through the next 7 days. So another good sign of spring hopefully coming soon.
Haven't seen the robin yet, but as you pointed out, as we talked yesterday, Zach, I've been hearing the birds tweeting in the morning, so the birds are beginning to think that spring is coming.
Hey, if they think it's coming, I will not second-guess Mother Nature or nature itself. They have that sixth sense that we don't have, so I would certainly take their prediction than mine.
And we know that the seasons are changing because my wife commented to me last night. She said, look, it's 6:30 and there's still daylight outside. I mean, we're starting to see things get light later. Although I also noted you made a comment on your Facebook page.
My Facebook and Twitter post.
Well, it's a wonderful thing that things are staying light later unless you go to bed early like you do, Zach.
Literally, I was getting in bed, Howard, at 5:30. And I normally have my on my nightstand, my lights for I keep it on until I'm ready to turn over and actually fall asleep. And I didn't need it yesterday because sun was still out until, like you said, 6:30 or so, with sunset being right around 6:09. So that half hour afterwards, with the sun continuing to wane, I was asleep by well before sunset because I was in bed at 5:30. Took my melatonin and was probably out by 6:15 at the latest. And it was definitely getting back into those long days where, hey, I'm not going to complain. I certainly like the longer days just because it means we're getting out of the winter ruts, but certainly a little harder to fall asleep whenever it's still sunny outside when it's 5:30, 6 o'clock.
It really is. I mean, it's one thing to go to sleep when it's dark and quiet and, and just wrap up and it's dark. But I don't care how hard you try to, put on a mask if you want to, or draw the blinds or what have you. Mm-hmm. You still know it's light out there, and it's hard to go to sleep then. Of course, I can't comprehend, Zach, how Never in my life. And I used to work real early shifts. I mean, I used to work almost as early as you do. But I could never go to sleep at 5:30. I just couldn't. I mean, I just couldn't. I never was able to go to sleep that early. And I don't know how you do it. I used to talk to Emily Goodman, your predecessor, about that. I don't know how you guys managed to get into the pattern of going to sleep that early. Biffy, could you do that? If you had to, could you go to sleep at 5:30 and get up at, what time do you get up, around 2, Zach? Something like that?
2 o'clock, yep, 2 o'clock.
I mean, no, because at 5:30, the last thing I'm thinking of is going to sleep.
It's dinner time.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
I mean, in our household, that's about the time that Teddy goes home. Our play day is over and he goes home, and then my wife and I start thinking about dinner and, how we're going to do, what are we going to do for the rest of the evening. And, I've been trying to get to bed a little earlier than usual, but earlier than usual to me means maybe 10:30. I just can't imagine. I commend you for being able to do it, but I could never do it back in the days when I was up real early. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still up at 2 o'clock. It's just that I got to pee.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, I know. I understand. Yeah, it's certainly a big schedule adjustment. I'm just happy that I haven't had to cover too many weekends. And luckily, my news director, Brenda, she's awesome. She says, okay, you can do these ones live and then record the other ones because, we have the 6 o'clock on Saturdays, and then there would be the 10 and the 11 Saturday nights. I'm in bed on normal nights or on the work nights at 5:30, and then on the weekends, I stay up until a rousing 8:30, pushing 8:30. And then it's just the body saying, Zach, we need sleep. Let's go. Let's hit that REM button. Let's go. So I'm lucky I haven't had to cover too many weekends.
The guys I'm always really impressed with, not that I'm not impressed with you going to bed at 5:30 or 8:30 on a late night, but the guys I'm always impressed with, the ones who work the varying schedule, like Aaron right now, his predecessor, Alexa, before her, who, sometimes have to work the early morning shift, but not all the time. So you got to, it's one thing to get into the habit of 5:30, 5:30, wake at 2, wake at 2, wake at 2. When you get into the habit, at least it's a habit. When you got to do it maybe for a week or 2 weeks and then go back to a night shift, or you got to jump back. I can't. I don't.
Yeah, no, I do feel bad for that too. Yeah, no, that takes. My body physically could not do it. I know that for a fact.
And we know with this change in daylight time and so on. There's a lot of scientific research that daylight, or light, I guess, literally affects our brains. That's why we have seasonal affective disorder. The amount of light impacts. I've got a story in front of me here. In fact, it says the number of the time of year and the amount of light that you get affects the number of opioid receptors in your brain. I'm not suggesting anybody's taking opioid. That's not what I mean.
Sure. No, yeah. No, I got you.
These are opioid receptors, which regulate mood and sociability. So as the days get longer, light stays lighter, or the reverse of that too. People's moods change. I know mine does. Mine changes dramatically. Whether it's
I would have to agree too, especially in the summertime when it's 4:30 on normal schedule, and you get home from work like, I got 4 more hours of daylight. Let's go out and go to the park or go, I don't know, play basketball or something. Where it's in the wintertime, you're at 4:30 and sun's getting ready to set, so it's about time to go to bed is what it looks like outside. For sure.
Yep. So it's not just impression. It is scientific fact that the light affects the way we look at things. So walk me through the rest of the week, Biff, or Zach. It's probably it's going to be a reasonably good week, correct?
Yeah. We got high pressure moving in on Thursday, Friday. Temperature-wise, we're going to be hovering in the mid to low 40s, but I do expect to see wall-to-wall sunshine by Friday. Weekend will warm up to low 50s with some rounds of rain both Saturday and Sunday, but still, we'll be seeing those temperatures in the low 50s. And then March comes in on Monday with a little bit more rain, and then we'll continue on with temperatures in the mid to low 40s through the next work week.
So does March come in like a lamb or a lion?
March, as of now, from what I saw, it looks like it's going to come in as a lamb. It should be relatively quiet.
You know, they always say if it comes in like a lamb, it goes out like a lion. So
right.
Have to wait and see. Currently, I think 38 degrees. That's what I checked the last time. Probably still sticking around 38 degrees.
Yep, that's where we're at over at that Wheeling, Ohio County Airport with mostly sunny skies. Looks like clear skies being reported as well.
All right, sounds good. Zach, good talking to you this morning, and we will do it again tomorrow. Be sure and get yourself some good sleep tonight.
Yep, sounds good. Make sure you enjoy some vitamin D as well.
There we go. All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you soon. Zach Petty from the Big 7, WTRF TV, morning meteorologist, and our weather chat, and we talk about all different kinds. Oh, I forgot to ask him about his chicken sandwiches, Biff. Meant to ask him about those chicken sandwiches and if they were as good as they looked this morning from McDonald's. Again, I'm not big on, chicken sandwiches in the morning, but if they bring them to us, it's okay with me. Actually, I guess some of the restaurant chains are starting to do chicken and eggs, or sort of a variation of chicken and waffles and stuff. You're starting to see some of the fast food chains doing chicken in the morning too. So I guess when I say I don't think of chicken in the morning.
Chicken biscuits.
Personally, yeah, chicken biscuits. You see that all the time. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a big chicken fan. I'm a big chicken also, but that's a whole different story. But I'm also I'm a big chicken fan. My wife made the other night, and y'all aren't going to believe this. She made a grilled chicken breast with a spinach and cheese filling. And it was unbelievably good. And because I say that people don't believe it because they're going to think, oh, Howard, you're not going to eat that spinach, are you? She asked my oldest son, said, Jason, would you like one of these? And he looked at it and said, oh, it's green. No. But, man, it was good. It was really good. I don't know what prompted me to like spinach, but spinach and cheese. It was a great dinner that she made. My wife has been really, I don't know what it is, whether it's just the pandemic's been around long enough. She's decided to really become a cook all the time. We cook multiple nights. And when I say we, I mean she cooks multiple nights a week anymore.
Howard, it's called Pinterest.
Really good stuff.
That's what it's called.
You could be right. Well, she does print, like I have here in front of me. When I go through I print out all my stories for conversation here on the printer in the home office, and then I grab them off in the morning. And usually every day, this morning, for example, I see there is tucked amongst my news stories a recipe for creamy shrimp soup. So I know she's always printing out recipes anymore. She goes to these recipe sites and so on. And I'm happy about it, believe me. I'm as pleased as punch, as they say. 4 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Do we have to do a break, Biff?
Nope, we're good.
You sure? Okay. Then getting used to this. Trying to follow the format here.
No, we're good.
I am bothered by this defunding the police concept. I do believe, and a lot of this came to light after the George Floyd case last summer, and some of the follow-up incidents where police officers have not been the kindest to communities of color. And I do believe that we need to rethink policing a lot. I don't believe it needs to be hard line, kick their heinies, put on military outfits, and throw tear gas all the time. So I do think there needs to be a rethinking of the way we police. But at some point, that turned into something called defunding the police. And that and then it became, well, you liberals want to get rid of police departments. And of course, I think that's ridiculous. Joe Biden, just to be very clear, Biden has said over and over again, he does not want to defund the police. That's not something he believes in. Nor me, nor the vast majority of Democrats. There are some who do. And so I'm bothered when I see a story like this. In Ithaca, New York, the mayor is proposing to, well, literally defund the police. He's planning to abolish the police department. Now, I don't care what you think about police officers, and I don't care how you feel they treat communities of color, and I don't care if you believe that there are cops that go far too out of their, far too beyond where they should go. Picture a community without a police department. I mean, that makes no sense at all. But Mayor Svante Myrick in Ithaca, New York, says that he wants to reduce the number of encounters between armed police officers and members of the public. Everyone wants the police to perform better. Everyone wants that. So the simplest way is to not have a police department at all. Well, pardon me, but that's asinine. That's absolutely asinine. He says what he wants to do is get rid of the sworn police officers, trained law enforcement officers, and have a civilian-led agency, the Department of Community Solutions. Now, is there a need for Department of Community Solutions? Maybe. Should it stand alongside the police department and not replace it? Yes. And I hate these kind of stories because all they will do is fuel the fire of how you liberals don't like police. And that simply isn't true. And I don't know what the mayor in Ithaca is doing, but I certainly think it's goofy. It's just plain goofy. And I ain't talking about a dog in a Disney movie. It's 8 o'clock. We're going to talk about fracking and its economic impact here in the Upper Ohio Valley. That's coming up in the next segment of the show here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
News. I'm Sherry.
All right, Biffy, is Sean O'Leary at 8:10? This is the other Sean O'Leary. No, it's not that one. It's the other one. It's Sean, Hal O'Leary's son, if that makes any sense to you, coming in from the Ohio River Valley Institute. He's the fracking guy. Yes, it's the other Sean O'Leary. It's funny that they both have the same name, and they both are pretty much the same areas of expertise too. I mean, they both deal with the same stuff, but Sean, so it's the other Sean. All right, let me get some more coffee. I'll be back.